Does this look familiar? Like that. Hi, my name's Arlene, and I am going to show you around my yard and talk to you about my experiences with the deer. So the deer love to eat things that I plant. So I'm going to talk about a couple different strategies I've taken, what's worked and what hasn't. So first, we have some salvia plants here that I am using exclosures to protect them. This is just chicken wire that I've wrapped around the sides but left the top open, and I'm just holding them down with some little stakes you can get from the camping section of the store. And what's important here is to leave the top open so when it does flower that the pollinators can get in there, in and out. The bees can fit, but maybe the butterflies can't. So, a lot of people don't like the way chicken wire looks, so there's a couple other options for exclosures I can show you. Here's just another example of a chicken wire exclosure I made. This is a Turk's cap down here. These are really inexpensive to make, and they're easy to change size, so once this guy gets bigger I can just open it up or replace it with a bigger one. So that's kind of a advantage to these. But if you want something that looks a little prettier, at least for the smaller plants, you can buy just these little decorative metal baskets, and they look a little bit nicer than the chicken wire. But the deer do tend to just eat right at the edge, and those you'll have to change as they get bigger, but it looks a little bit nicer than chicken wire. This is an example of a bigger plant that needed an exclosure in my yard. This is a sumac, and the deer just loved eating it, so I had to cover it. This one needed a bigger exclosure, so I used these kind of green metal fence posts to hold it up. And this is actually a little bit heavier or bigger than the chicken wire. The spaces are bigger and keeps the deer out. Just something to keep in mind is you don't want these spaces to get too big. For example, if you've tried using, or I've tried using, these tomato cages, and I tried offsetting them, a couple of them, to kind of make a quick exclosure. But sometimes if those gaps are too big, the antlers from the deer will accidentally take them out and run away with them, taking your exclosure and leaving your plant exposed. Alright, here's an example of another planter, a hanging planter. We got some lantana up here, and I'm up on some steps, so it's really high up, so this is definitely out of the deer's range. Just something to keep in mind with these guys. They're good because they're up in the air, easily accessible to pollinators, but they're covered. So if it's raining, you gotta make sure you still water them. And they are a limited space, so once this guy wants to get bigger, he might need to come out and someone else can go in there. Alright, so here's another strategy I've used. Taking the plants off the ground and just making them a little bit higher, a little bit more out of reach for the deer, and that's worked pretty well for me. Kind of blackfoot daisy, salvia have been doing pretty well up here, where they didn't on the ground, at least in the yard. And it looks good. Nothing is deer proof, but agarita, agave, frog fruit, and Mexican hat have done well. The red yucca didn't. Thank you for watching.